Hello, hello, hello. Today I'm gonna go over the tier 10 Chinese tank destroyer reward tank from ranked. And this thing is called the 114 SP2. Don't get confused with the BZ 114. Now this thing is completely opposite from that BZ 114 that you may have heard of. For the first off, this tank is a phenomenal sniper. I like it a lot. It's one of those. The aim just goes so small. The shells are fast enough. The gun sound is good enough, and it just moves very smoothly. So this tank you're gonna get when you do when you get, how many tokens is it? Is it 9 or is it 12? I can't remember the exact system, but you need to have a certain amount of ranked tokens to get this tank, to get the hands of this tank. To start off, I would say that I like this tank straight up. The gun handling is, it doesn't feel like a tank destroyer. I forgot to even mention that in my little intro here. As we're getting spotted, it must be some nifty little light tank, and the only nifty little light tank I see is the EBR-90. And I'm questioning, E4, you're getting spotted, buddy. Come on, get back. And yeah, he promptly gets out of the way. We're gonna do some little bit of a checks. If he sits in that bush or not. Yep, and we confirmed it. He sits in that bush. It's a way you can kind of confirm when you wanna know if someone, sits in certain bushes and such. You only proceed to peek just for that bush, or just enough to that bush to spot you. But more, oh yeah, the short turret is just sending it on a little EBR-90. This tank is a sniper in its core. You kind of want to play it as a sniper because this has a lot of drawbacks. Well, a lot of drawbacks actually. Not that many drawbacks when you move up. But the strong point of this tank is the sniping, as you can see. I had so much fun testing this tank and playing this tank that I'm like, yeah, I like it. I need to stop spamming that. But to go over the gun a little bit. The AP shells is 273 pen with 1050 shell velocity. Oh yeah, the alpha is 650 as well. So it's not like the 750 devastating alpha, but 650, it's good enough. It's good enough. With around 11 seconds reload. You're gonna have a plus minus going on there, depending on how people choose to set up the tank. I set up a little bit more for the reload. And the APCR is 329 penetration with 1250 shell velocity, which is really good. It's good. You hit like a truck with this thing, and you hit accurately like a truck. I don't know if our truck is very accurate, but this time it is. And the HE shells, you have a phenomenal 90 pen. With this only 760 shell velocity, so it's gonna struggle, hitting those low armored targets on a very long distance. But that's why we're gonna have intuition on this tank. Oof. And the HE alpha is 840. So the HE is actually quite useful on this tank. You see the chieftain is sitting in a nifty little place behind us, but we have preemptively kind of foreseen that someone might actually get up there, so we push down these trees here, and this E4 is getting brutalized. And here I'm not realizing that I'm not spotting the chieftain until that shot, and there we go. So I know there's trees here, I'll push forward, but I see the tank clearly, and there's no tree in front of me. That means I am 15 meters away from the end of this push, so I'm actually not spotting through it, even though it is transparent, or was transparent for me. Oh, see if this standard B. We could load HE for him. Nah, let's not. Right on the fuel tank. Oh, that's quite astonishing to get a bounce there. Oh, the standard B got wrecked pretty hard. We are kinda locked here in this little balcony area. but I would see there's a lot of people who are gonna go here with this tank, just because of how it is. The gun depression and the gun elevation, you have gun depression of 7, which is workable. I'm making sure that yeah, there we go, now I spotted him, but we don't have a good shot on him. He's a chieftain in a hull down, so almost no one has a good shot on him. But the gun elevation that I had no idea while I was playing is plus 20. We're gonna see if we can't with the T95 to hopefully turn. No. Ah, he doesn't give me the side. But we are quite stuck here on our little pedestal. But hey, I will showcase how you can actually get off this little pedestal. You have to get down on these rocks. And then it's just a straight road down. Took some damage, but you know, I think it was worth it, because I don't want to be stuck there like this E4, because he's dead. The poor thing. He got the shot on the chieftain, I believe. Or such. But here we come in to the other part of this tank, what I like about it, the mobility. This tank has a top speed of 45 and a reverse speed of 18, but it doesn't, but even though it looks so big and it's so clunky, it actually is not that slow. And you can either go the Grouser route or the turbocharge route. The thing about the turbocharge is that you won't get up to top speed, but you will keep that 40-45 kind of thing. With the turbocharge you will have 49, it will be your top speed. But with Grousers you will get up to 40-45, but you will turn slightly better, I think. Would be the difference. Here we got the chieftain. We put a nice shot into him. So it's really like kind of up to you, because I don't know really which one I want to pick. But you can see how the gun handling is very good, very smooth. And this is a tank destroyer. When I first started playing it, I was like, no, this is a heavy. No, this is a heavy. But considering the armor of it is very low, I will go over that in my next little match here. Replay that I have installed. Because this thing is all about no armor. And the T95 got us in the end. But let's hop over to the next match that I have in store. And here we are in the next game, where I will be going over a little bit of more close-up fighting with the tank. The tank in itself is not really good at dealing with own corners on its own because of the one big drawback, the armor of the tank. You have 75 hull armor in the front and the side, and you have 135 in the turret armor and 75 on the side turret armor. But what you kind of compensating that with is this kind of a good gun handling. So you're very good at second line supporting, backing up someone, you know, helping someone out, peeking around a corner and peeking around a corner when someone already fired, kind of a situation. And here I'm just testing this little new hull down that we have on this map, and oh, okay, this looks good. And this is 60 TP, and we're terrified because he can just easily blep us in that turret. Plus we have a big cupola on the turret. So the armor wise is low with this tank, so you have to play a little bit like this hidden. Oh, nice. Yep. Took that one for free. Whoops. So you have to play a little bit like what I like to call the second line support tank. Sometimes like a ninja moving around on the battlefield. And we had this FE. Oh, and I did not expect him to do that. Not one bit. I guess he was just too pressured by the 277 to sit still there. So the mobility of the tank is quite alright. I see this tank is a combination between the E4 and the Grille, kind of a tank destroyer. Like you can move up and be in the peekaboo fighting like a E4, but you don't have the armor. And the Grille is, well, it's all about sniping with the Grille, and this thing is taking that too. So, but it's kind of had this clunkier... It looks like it has a clunkier camo value, but the camo value is actually through the roof on this tank. I mean, when it first came out, this tank had one of the best camo values of all the tank destroyers, but they've, thank God, nerfed that. So now it's on a... we can... Barely aimed in and actually managed to hit that. The base camo is 14, which is quite a lot for such a big tank, to be honest. And here we are in the second line support, and I'm thinking, who should I support? I see this Batchat, maybe this Centurion stays put, and I'm a little bit questioning why he just moved out. I guess he had no idea about the Batchat. Batchat didn't peek though, unfortunately. So you have this kind of a good camo, but very big, bulky, heavy tank. Tank destroyer. It's a kind of a fun mix with it. Oh. No, he's not pushing there. Maybe this Batchat comes. No, here we go. Can we snap? Ah, man. If I just didn't shoot so quickly. Yeah, he stays there as well. We could have taken our time. We should have taken our time. We got a little bit hastily. But hey, that's what you get for when you're being greedy. Oh, I think I forgot to mention. The standard dispersion for this gun is 31. So with the right amount of equipment, you can push this down to 23 with the dispersion. Thank you, Kranvang, for peeking there. And the aim time, the standard aim time is 1.92, but you can push that down even further. But I think mine is roughly around there. And here we have syndromist, like I like to call them, a new tank syndrome. They see a new tank, they go forward, they have to shoot it, they have to see it, and he's dead. Oh, Batchat maybe? No, we cannot finish him. And the caliber of the gun is 152. But back to this armor profile of the tank, the whole sort of turret armor. Here I was thinking maybe I can go in, but then nah, let's not. But the whole turret front is kind of a piece of paper, and I think a lot of people, well, obviously it's the first time they see the tank, they don't really know that, so they aim on the cupola, so they take their time. I'm thinking maybe Batchat's just gonna send it. If you look at the minimap, I don't have so much sniper support. I have I have kinda sniper support. I don't know if the deep on the TVP can shoot for me. So that's why I'm hanging back here a little bit. I'm making sure I proxy spot this Batchat. And I think the Leopard is helping. Or can help. Also, I'm a little bit anticipating of the Grilla. Yeah, they can help. This is sweet. And it looks like more and more people are rotating. And here we are kind of peeking to see. Everyone is a one-shot for us. And another thing that the base stats is 390 view range. So it's quite easy to get full view range with this tank. And no, reverse side scraping is not a thing on this tank. Take that kill because the Jagdpass E100 was relocating. And there goes the Batchat. He just wanted to shoot me. He could have tried an exit. Oh, late to discover the Grilla. Yeah, he could have peeked and fire on me, but I think there's a bunker between us. And here I'm trying to realize maybe I can shoot the cupola, but he can maybe shoot my cupola, so we have a little bit of an awkwardness. Oh, and there we go. Now the Grilla is left alone. As you can see, the close-up fighting is a little bit awkward when you're alone, but when you're with someone, you can be a really devastating tank. So this tank is this like oddity of a tank destroyer. Like it's this new thing the wargaming have found out with the tank destroyers. That sort of plays... Oh, bonk. This sort of plays like this... we had another tank destroyer called Object 268B5, which is this type of tank, but it's just way more pen, but slower shells. So the long range sniping wasn't so good with it. But this one is a little bit opposite. It's a little bit less pen, but you have the long range sniping capability better. And you are a bit more mobile than that tank. Oh, it's on an AMX and an STRV, so God knows where they're hiding out on the field here. What else is it to go over this tank? From the fact that I like it? Yeah, I like it. I like it because it's moderately fast, has a very fun gun. It's kind of this... I like it because it's kind of chunky as well, so it's kind of hard to kind of implement it here and there. But when you do, it feels very good. Oh my god, it's just so beautiful to shoot with this tank. It feels like you do damage when you hit with this thing. You make something happen. Can we hit this as well? We need to find a little bit higher ground if we're gonna be able to hit the STRV. And this is as high as ground we can find. Climb this huge hill. Maybe peek up for me, STRV. Come on. No, no, you're not. But we are gonna go over in the garage more about the crew, the equipment, the shells, and the field modification. I played with all the field modification on while we have seen these two matches. But let's hop over to the garage. Easy victory. In my super secret garage, my super secret account, that is not me, okay? It says so up here, it says not Ysne, yeah, it's a secret account. We're gonna go over the crew, the equipment, the shells, the consumables, and field modification. But let's start off with the crew. I am on my super secret account, so I have a super secret crew with super secret many crew skills on. But try to ignore 14 of them on the commander. I would never see anyone get 14 crew skills on a commander in-game. Oh my god. But anyway, how I would pick it is pretty much straightforward. We go with Brothers in Arms, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, and then you could maybe not pick Recon, but I like to pick Recon anyway. And then we go with Repairs, and then we go with Camouflage, actually. So if you don't pick Recon, you can pick that Camouflage to get a little bit more camo when you're coming up on the 4th/5th skill on the commander. But on the gunner, we're gonna pick the Brothers in Arms, Snapshot, because we got a full 360 turret, so it's gonna help us tremendously. It's gonna become a little bit awkward because many other Chinese tank destroyers don't have a turret in the tech tree. Actually, none of them have. So they might be a little bit awkward with that. And then as a third skill, we pick Repair. And then we pick... where is it? Camouflage. And on the last one, we probably maybe squeeze in a Deadeye. Maybe we take Firefighting. We could also wait with the camo and pick Deadeye before. But I think we want to have that concealment on the tank. So I think I will pick the concealment. Or the driver is straightforward as well. It's the Brothers in Arms, smooth riding, repair, off-road driving. And the last one could be, you can pick whatever almost. I would say control impact, no, concealment. And then you pick whatever. Concealment is the last one. You could even pick concealment before off-road driving. It's a little bit how aggressive you're playing or how defensive you're playing. Then I would aggressive, obviously off-road driving, more defensive, concealment. For the loader, we pick Brothers in Arms, Intuition for just for this tank, because that HE is beautiful to have ready to shoot. The 2 seconds reload, oh, it's so devastating when you can find, I don't know, maybe one of my most disliked tank. Maybe you can find a Burask and just smack up 840 HE into him. That would be very good, very good. And then as a third skill, we pick Repair. And then we pick not safe storage actually. We would pick Concealment and then safe storage. You could maybe take safe storage earlier, just so you have it, I would say. So you don't, have it on the 5th skill and it take it forever to get it. So you could maybe pick it earlier, but Yeah, I would say concealment is actually more important on this tank than I thought it would be. This huge, chunky, bulky tank. It's as tall as a 60 TP, as long as an Object 705, and they got this massive, massive compensator. But let's go over the equipment. This standard equipment is pretty solid. It's immediately what I picked for the tank, and it just works nicely, actually. And I think you should prioritize the IRM instead of the rammer for the first one, just so you get that that dispersion, but during vehicle movements and traverse, it's actually quite nice, actually. And for the second equipment, this is, oh, if I go back. In the second replay, you saw this equipment. In the first replay, you saw this equipment. This is where I tried to push down the dispersion a little bit more. I did not mount up bond ventilation here, and I also didn't change around in the field modification. That's how you can get down to 23 dispersion, which is ludicrous, actually. But you can see how I have the bounty aiming on it, and then I'll put the rammer on it. It's a little bit faster reload, but I should have the regular rammer, but it was testing around. So we have one sniper build and one sort of second line support build, I think you would call it. And I would not recommend to put the regular aiming on this. You have to be the bounty aiming for it to be even any sort of effectiveness. Because the regular aiming, it's not that good. It's like a niche little thing. You could maybe put the regular aiming instead of ventilation here. That can maybe work out for you, maybe. But that's for the equipment. Let's go with the shells. It's 15, 15, 5. You're gonna need everything. You could even dump more, take away more AP, load up the APCR, maybe one more HE, maybe 6, 7. I have fired a lot of HE in this tank, so 5 HE was almost too little for me, weirdly enough. But I would say maybe you take a couple of more. And the consumables is straightforward. The first aid, repair, and food for the boost of the tank. But now we come to the fun part, the field modification. And this thing is a must. You have to take the reinforced suspension. It's just absolutely bonkers good for this tank. And then obviously the smaller aiming circle, because we have already fast aim time. We're below 2 seconds, that is a fast aim time. You can even push it down more, but I think the aiming circle is what you want to focus on. You want to be able to hit your shots, not just aim down quicker. And then we come to this periscope. And this is where you maybe, if you pick the recon, you don't have to pick this. But you probably should. Because if you don't, then you don't have full view range. And I know some people are like, oh, but you don't need full view range. It's okay to play without it. Not often. Not in a sniper tank that usually is ending up in the late game. Where you have to spot for yourself. That's when you're hampering yourself big time. And you see that it takes the hit when the consumer of the firing. But if you really look at the numbers, you don't lose that much. Actually, so this view range is a no-brainer. Pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it. You could dump the recon if you picked it this one as well, and then you can pick another crew skill earlier. And then we come to the fun part, where it's gonna be back and forth. You could pick the aiming mechanism. I actually tested it, and then you want to have the bounty rammer on it, so you get the reload a little bit lower, but then you can push it down to even further this dispersion. Oh baby. But I think for me, how I play the tank, this is going to be the loading mechanism. Just a faster reload. We have it 26 when we have this bounty equipment on it, and 29, 28, 29 with the regular equipment, which is good enough, I would say. Obviously, you could just have it even lower. And for the last one, we have the engine power or the aiming speed. And no, you don't pick the aiming speed. I don't see. You would not notice this 0.1 second faster aiming time, but you will notice the horsepower per ton and the the horsepower per ton, or what they like to call it, the specific power. So you will notice that when you start climbing, this 4% adds up quite a lot. How much engine power do we get? 39 from a 4%, so it's quite a lot. And as a boost, you could take the survivability or scouting. It's kind of like whatever. Survivability, I just picked that because you have 2,000 hit points. So you could put improved hardening on the tank, just for getting the hit point up a little bit more, getting that extra 200. It can be nice when you're moving up close combat fighting. But that's my little review of the 114 SP2 that you can get in ranked throughout these seasons. It's, for me, I like this tank. I think it's fun. It's a bit of a mix between the E4 and the Grille in my books, in how you can use it. And you can also throw in, it's a little bit like the Object 268 V5 as well. It's like a mix of those three tanks. Closing thoughts. I like the tank. It's a fun tank. If you grind a rank, was it worth it all? For me, it was. But I can't tell for everyone. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. And I'm out of here.